Welcome, everyone. Nice to have you here. My name is Esther Levine. I'm from marketing at Britannica Knowledge Systems. You can also get in touch with our speakers and we'll be posting their contact info. Here's today's agenda. First of all, we'll be discussing CAE and Britannica Knowledge Systems. Then we'll be discussing the types of challenges that you're probably facing managing your training operations in military aviation units. But we won't leave you hanging. We'll then discuss how the FOX training management system and how it will solve your main challenges. Then it's your chance to ask about specific points or issues that we didn't cover or subjects that you would like to dive into. So thank you again for joining us today. Our first speaker will be Steve Davis, and he'll introduce CAE. He's an experienced senior manager from the Instructional Systems Group and has been with CAE for over a decade. Yuval Sive will then tell us a bit about Britannica Knowledge Systems. Yuval is a training management expert who has been with the company for close to 2 decades. On to the experts. Steve, the floor is yours.
Morning. Thank you, Esther. So let me tell you a little bit about CAE. CAE is a global training company. Training is what we do. It's really in our DNA. Many of you may know CAE better for our simulators. In fact, we build 75% of all the installed simulator base for civil simulators worldwide. So we've been building simulators for over 70 years. But in fact, today, more than 60% of CAE's business comes from designing and delivering training, not just from manufacturing the simulators that you may be more familiar with. CAE currently delivers training to every branch of the U.S. Department of Defense, as well as many partner countries around the world. We are the prime contractor for CAE USA for multiple comprehensive aircrew training systems especially for the U.S. Department of Defense. For example, we are the prime contractor for the KC-135 aircrew training system for the USAF, as well as the C-130H aircrew training system. And those systems require us not only to deliver the instruction, but also to design the training, as well as administer the system on a day-to-day basis on behalf of our government customers. In addition, for the United States Navy, we are the prime contractor for the T6, T45, and T44 training programs that train virtually all of the Navy's initial fixed-wing pilots. On the Army side, we are also the prime contractor for the U.S. Army Fixed-Wing Training Center in Dothan, Alabama. And in fact, on that program, we were required to not only design the training program, but design the training facility and build all of the simulators and implement that within a 12-month period. And we did that in great part by implementing the FOX training management system in that training program for the Army. In addition, CAE also administers the KDAM Special Operations and Combat Rescue training system at Kirtland Air Force Base, as well as a number of other training programs, a number of other training locations. So I hope you can see CAE is not just a simulator manufacturer, but we are a training company. And that really is how we became partnered with BKS. So let's talk a little bit about the work that we've done with BKS. So CAE and BKS have been working together really for over a decade. As a training provider, we came to realize very early that training management systems are a key element to every solution. If we can't administer the training system, if we can't manage it on a day-to-day basis, then it won't be very effective. That's how we really became involved with BKS about 10 years ago. And we've implemented the FOX system in the US, Canada, and a variety of other programs worldwide. And so why did we choose FOX? What were the discriminators from that in that environment of training management systems? So one of the key advantages for us with FOX is that it's comprehensive. It has modules that address the entire spectrum of training program needs, everything from delivering training through the learning management system, documenting student accomplishments, scheduling resources, and laying out the entire training program. The Fox system is completely comprehensive. It's also modular. The design allows our users to choose the elements that they need. Not every program needs every element, and the Fox system is modular and allows us only to implement the components that that particular customer needs. And to that end, it's very, very flexible. When we only need to implement those specific components, then we can choose the ones that are necessary, and it's highly configurable at the user level. So the system is very intuitive and designed very well for our users to be able to make changes and to implement those changes as their training system evolves, because no training system is static. And we're currently using elements of the Fox system at a number of locations, including the 4th Fighter Wing at Seymour Johnson on the F-15 Strike Eagle program, as we've already talked about briefly, on the Dothan Training Center for both Army and Air Force training in the Grove and the C-12, and then as well as the 492nd Special Operations Wing at Hurlburt on the AC-130J training program. So we've been very, very pleased with the results that we have had in implementing the Fox BKS system for our customers, and look forward to continuing our partnership with Fox in the future. So Yuval, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Steve. And thank you all again for joining us today. Before I dive into the challenges of training management, a few words about Britannica and our customers. As a reminder, if you have any questions, please feel free to submit them through the Q&A feature of the webinar. If you were wondering where the name Britannica came from, well, that's because we used to be a subsidiary of Encyclopedia Britannica, but now we operate independently. Britannica's 130 employees work out of the Britannica and home offices in the US, Israel, and Europe. Britannica has been developing and delivering training management solutions for more than 30 years. Our current web-based TMS solution has been evolving and constantly improved for more than 20 years. Today, we are a leading provider for training management solutions for the aerospace and defense industries, known for our professionalism and dedication to our customers. So, who uses Fox today? Fox is used by a variety of military and government aerospace organizations. This includes training centers that deliver a mix of training programs, such as CAE at their Dothan Training Center in Alabama, where both rotary to fixed wing transition training and recurrent training programs are delivered. Fighter training squadrons like the 333rd and 334th at 4th Operations Group, and special operations like FSOC's 19th Special Operations Squadron, all use Fox to manage their training. Other users are search and rescue units and other fixed wing and rotary wing training operations. Fox was designed to support all phases of training and all types of training organizations and units. We also support NASA's manned missions training. This includes astronaut and flight controller training. Britannica has recently been selected by the US Army to deliver Fox to support the Army's entire training operation, and this includes Army Aviation too. So, as you can see, a mix of organizations and units that have all found Fox to be the best fit for their training management needs. Now, what did they look for in Fox? What did they find in Fox but not find in other solutions? The answers are coming up next. But let's start with the main challenges these organizations faced. And we presume you face some of them too. Hope everything is okay so far on your end. Again, friendly reminder, if any questions that you have, please submit them and we'll address them at the end. Before we continue, let's take a quick poll. You should have a window on your end now coming in where you can respond to the poll. This first poll, we would like you to share with us information regarding how you manage your training operation. Okay, pen and paper, spreadsheets, training management systems, or other? I see we have 50% response rate. We'll just wait for everybody to respond. All right. Interesting results here, just to share with you some of the outcomes here. First of all, the majority responded that they use spreadsheets. The survey did allow multiple choice, but still, the majority use spreadsheets. 13% still use pen and paper. Anyway, thank you guys for participating. Let's continue. All right, so regarding the challenges that I wanted to talk about today, the first challenge, situational awareness. The first challenge I wanted to discuss is related to situational awareness. As you guys know, you cannot perform well, if at all, if you're not conscious of what's going on. The questions you probably ask yourself on a regular basis are, is my training program falling behind? How accurate are my buffer allocations for unexpected occurrences? What are the weaknesses and strengths of my trainees and students? What are the most common training errors? Do I have all the resources I need to complete training on time? What if they take down my simulator for extended maintenance? How will that impact my training plan? Another question could be, can I add 100 more cadets to my throughput for 2021? And I'm sure there are many more examples for questions that you guys ask yourselves on a regular basis. Well, with the appropriate tools for situational awareness, answers to these questions can be provided instantly. But without the situational awareness tools to support your decision-making process, this can be a nightmare. Fox's custom and personalized dashboards provide you with the situational awareness that you need. Next in line on our challenges list, standardization. It drives us crazy when we use one system to plan one phase of training, let's say ground training, and then another tool for a different phase of training, for example, flight. Training activities of all types should be managed by the same system, and all training-related processes should be managed by that system. You do not want to access one system to pull out one report and access a different system to pull out another report. Another example is related to performance evaluation. Instructor grading processes should be standardized and consistent. A cadet should be evaluated the same by all instructors. We have the tools to enforce and implement instructor grading calibration to assure that. Cadet and trainee performance data should be consolidated and standardized and should be made accessible from a single location. System menus and field formats should be consistent. Moreover, using the same system for managing all training means being able to share resources and content. It means learning to use one system, not many. It means reducing your costs. Fox can provide you with the standardization that you deserve. The third challenge on our list is effectiveness. For training to be effective, we must use the most suitable tools for the job. Training is a combination of events and processes of different type, and these events and processes require different tools. Effectiveness is achieved only if we use the most appropriate tool for each job or task. Some examples. Example 1, proper scheduling of sim sessions. These require specific features that are not applicable for instructor-led sessions. For resource allocation to be effective, you should have the means to break the sim session to 3 parts: brief, training, debrief, which is not applicable to other types of sessions. Another example, your students and trainees need to be able to easily distinguish between supporting training documents and online mandatory assignments. For their learning experience to be effective, you must have dedicated tools for prescribing learning and other tools for providing them access to content libraries. You cannot mix the two together. The third example and last one for effectiveness is related to feedback. and remedial learning. Think of a trainee taking an online test, answering all these questions. Then the trainee submits the test. Imagine providing that trainee with instant feedback and analysis of their performance. Providing this feedback while everything is still fresh in the trainee's mind contributes to the effectiveness of their learning experience. The last challenge I'd like to cover is efficiency. Well, while the two terms, effectiveness and efficiency, are tightly related, they mean different things. Imagine digging a pit with a spoon might be possible and therefore effective, but not very efficient. Efficient training processes are crucial. They save time and prevent mistakes. Let me share with you a couple of examples. First example, smart grading forms with built-in logic and safety nets. These guide the instructor throughout the grading process, allowing the instructor to focus on what's important, the trainee's performance, and not have to struggle with completing the form. Moreover, the safety nets ensure forms are completed properly and that students are not mistakenly given a wrong grade. The second example, a key contributor to efficiency is automation, and it comes into play in many areas, such as interfaces. Interfaces with other systems prevent the need to manually re-enter data, therefore saving time and preventing mistakes. For military aviation training, these could be interfaces with systems like PECs, or even other mandated TMS or LMS systems. These are just a couple of examples for efficiencies that can be gained by implementing a training management system like FOX. By the way, this is a good time to mention that even if you are already using a system to manage your training, don't let that hold you back. If that system is mandated, we can interface with it and sync data across to avoid duplicate work. If you're looking to replace your current system, we'll help you migrate your data from your current system to FOX. Well, we have crossed the halfway mark. Hope you guys are still hanging in there and enjoying the webinar so far. So I've talked about some of the challenges our customers were struggling with before they implemented FOX. I also give a few examples for how FOX addressed these challenges. For the next part of the webinar, I'd like to focus more on the major components that make up our unique solution. Again, any questions, don't be shy, send them through the Q&A that you have at the top there. Okay, just before we move on, another quick poll that I'd like to launch here. Now we would like you to please address your current issues. What are you struggling with? What training processes are you struggling with? Okay, you have here a number of options: scheduling, resource management, qualification management, performance evaluation, learning management, reporting, or the option of are you doing fine? Biggest struggle, reporting. Okay. And some others are struggling with scheduling, resource management, qualification management. These are the top three that follow reporting, which is pretty much, I guess, across the board. We'll touch on reporting in a few seconds. All right, thanks again for participating. Let's move on to the next part. What is the solution that we are actually offering? What is our answer to the challenges that you face? Well, the answer is FOX, a commercial off-the-shelf, web-based, comprehensive training management system. Why is it an all-in-one system? That's because FOX has unmatched wide range of modules and features for training administration, training development, resource management, training scheduling, course management, courseware delivery, exam management, feedback collection, performance evaluation, attendance tracking, record keeping, qualification management, reporting, and more, all under one roof, or URL to be more accurate. Now, this does not mean you have to implement the entire FOX package. As Steve said, FOX is modular. You can implement just the modules and features you need. Now, of course, later on, if required, you can always implement more modules if needed. FOX's comprehensiveness is unique. It's not just about the various modules and features, it's what you can achieve. You saw the logos of the units and organizations we work with. Training is managed differently by these organizations. And in many cases, they each have different processes for different type of training they deliver. Also, it's not always just about pilot training. FOX is used to manage the training of all roles, all positions, system operators, rescue crews, maintenance crews. And what about joint training? So you can pilots and system operators train together. The needs of these training programs are different, and nobody wants multiple systems, and we should not want to make any compromises. FOX has the variety of features that allow these training units and organizations to use a single solution to manage all their training operation and processes. The following slides touch on several key components of our solution. Let's start with scheduling optimization. Definitely a highlight within FOX. If your operation is small, medium, or large, you always want to optimize. FOX can help you optimize different processes, and scheduling is one of them. An optimized schedule means better utilization of your resources and more capacity to meet your throughput targets. Our scheduling automation engine will consider your training resource requirements, staff qualifications, availability of resources, scheduling rules, and other preferences. The result, a valid and feasible schedule optimized for your needs. FOX can process thousands of training resource requirements and propose a complete schedule for an entire year within minutes. You can run what-if scenarios and use built-in and custom reports to support your decision-making process. This engine saves our customers a lot of effort, time, and of course, money. The next component, qualification and readiness assurance. Your instructors need to be qualified to deliver training, and your crews need to be ready to perform their operational mission. FOX allows you to manage the linkage between performance in training and operational readiness. This means that when training objectives set initially in the syllabus are met, crew members get closer to acquiring their qualification or certification. Once obtained, maintaining qualifications is crucial. You must have the appropriate means for renewing qualifications well before they expire. And if needed, alerts and notifications must be sent in time. Qualification-related processes should be automated, but should also be subjected to required approval processes. And officers and commanders must be on top of things. For this, we provide them with dashboards, such as the one illustrated in the screenshot you see here. The next topic is related to learning and performance evaluation, grading. To support this delivery of training and learning, FOX offers tools to generate online exams, deliver courseware, manage learning content, capture evaluation data, and more. Students and learners can log in to complete their learning tasks, take a test, or browse the content libraries. FOX's configurable grading app allows instructors to capture performance evaluation data online and offline. They can use their PC, laptop, or their iPad. All performance records are associated with the student's personal file, which is the one-stop shop that consolidates all their learning and training history. This also includes information regarding their qualifications, personal remarks, and any other information you decide to include in the personal file. By the way, FOX is SCORM, AICC, CMI5, and XAPI compliant. You can interface FOX with your simulator, intake XAPI statements, and merge them with the grading forms completed by instructors during that same session. Let's move on to the next slide, which is about monitoring and analysis. FOX's reporting and BI capabilities are across the board and apply to all the modules I've mentioned today. FOX is delivered with out-of-the-box reports, but also allows you to custom your own. Using the built-in and integrated custom reporting features of Fox, you will be able to configure dashboards and reports of any type. There is no limit to the number of reports, graphs, or dashboards you can create, and the options are endless. Literally, sky's the limit. Combined with our unique notification center, you and your staff will always be informed and up to date. If you do not have the capacity to custom your own reports, don't worry. You can always refer to us or CAE for assistance. There's much more to tell about Fox, but we will not be able to cover everything today. I'll share our contact details shortly, so if you are interested in learning more about Fox, please feel free to reach out. We'll be more than happy to coordinate a call or a web demo. Just before I address your questions, a few words about our future plans. And this relates actually to one of the benefits of using a commercial off-the-shelf system. You're assured that the system you use will constantly be enhanced and improved and be kept up to date. Our roadmap is highly influenced by the aviation and defense industry's unique requirements and includes a number of streams. I'd like to talk about 3 particular streams of our roadmap. The first, related to functionality. We invest a lot in the development of new and innovative features. We actually plan to add a number of artificial intelligence engines in future releases of Fox. These engines will help units improve their training processes even more, and they'll provide learners with an unmatched learning experience. The second stream, technology updates. These are always relevant and always needed. Embracing up-to-date technologies means more opportunities for new features and innovation, better performance, and of course, a more secure environment. This brings me to the third roadmap stream, security. Fox's security was tested by the most demanding organizations, and this includes the US Air Force and the US Army. Security is key, and we constantly test Fox and improve its security features as new threats unfortunately emerge regularly. Well, this concludes the solution overview part of the webinar. Hope you find the information I've shared with you so far useful. As I said, we do welcome you to reach out to us. Okay, so if you do want to learn more about Fox, please feel free to reach out to Steve or myself, and we'll be more than happy to address questions and coordinate a discussion or a web demo. Now it's time to cover or review some of the questions that we have. Esther, if you want to, if you're monitoring different questions, if you want to call out any questions, please.
Sure. There's a few that have come in privately. So the first one I think is for you, Yuval. How long does it take to implement Fox?
Okay, good question. So the implementation process of Fox, from a duration perspective, that obviously varies, and it depends on the scope of functionality that needs to be implemented, and other factors such as the number of integrations and other optional tasks that can be included in the overall implementation. But to give a few examples, I think a typical starting point from a duration perspective could be 3 months or so, and that can obviously extend to 6 months, or maybe in some cases beyond, really depending on the size of the organization and the scope of functionality that needs to be implemented.
Okay, great. Thanks, Yuval. The next question is for Steve. So we're looking at how do you divide the work between CAE and Britannica Knowledge Systems? You've talked about the partnership. So how do you see this? How does it work together practically? And maybe you could give us an example of a specific implementation.
Sure, that's a great question. So Fox provides outstanding implementation support, and that's especially true for companies that have had no experience or background with the tool. Obviously, we have, and so we've become much more able to do that implementation development on our own. And even in those instances where CAE is doing the implementation, Fox always has tremendous customer support to help us in the event that that's needed. So again, as you've all said, it can vary. Fox can provide the initial implementation configuration, for instance, on the servers. And then usually the way we work it now is we'll take a team approach to the initial implementation, getting the system set up on the servers. And then when we move into the actual implementation, say, of the course footprints and uploading student content or student data, learning content, then CAE kind of starts to take much more of the reins and does that phase of the implementation. So it is a team effort, however you do it. The great news is that as an end user, you're definitely not in it alone, and Fox's support team is there every step of the way and just does a tremendous job of making sure the system gets set up properly, configured exactly as it should be, and gets fit for purpose in the shortest amount of time possible.
Great. Thanks so much, Steve. We just have one more question. I think this is for you, Yuval. Just could you let us know where you can deploy Fox? Is it cloud-based, on-premise? Where's the best implementation deployment?
Okay. Well, basically any option is valid. Okay, we can offer hosting services and host Fox ourselves. We typically deploy Fox at one of the Amazon AWS regions, but if needed, Fox can also be deployed on-premise or on the any of the various Air Force networks, as it is now for some of the current customers. So basically, there's no particular limitation with regards to the location of where Fox can be deployed. We've experienced all the different types of networks and have dealt with different types of security checks in order to qualify Fox for being deployed in these different networks.
Thanks so much. Anyone else have anything to add? I guess not, so we'll be wrapping up.
Okay. All right, guys. Okay, well, thank you everybody for participating and taking the time. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I'd like to take this opportunity and wish you all happy holidays, happy New Year's, and stay safe. Thank you, everybody.